Today we're going to be taking a look at the NOSSK RT-17 rope trainer, 17 referring to the length of the anchor rope. This one is red, which of course I'm partial to. We'll take a look at the pros, the cons, and why this is quickly becoming my #1 favorite suspension device out on the market today. The first thing I like about the RT-17 is it's an incredible bang for your buck. At only about a $23 price point, you get the full kit and caboodle with this thing. You get the 17-foot anchor rope. You also have the handle ropes, and the handles are coated in this nice, durable yet comfortable foam rubber. And it also has the foot slings, and this foot sling is kind of almost a seatbelt material, very lightweight, super easy to work with, and very wide, so it's comfortable against bare feet, but it's not so stiff and heavy that it gets in the way when you're doing things like curls and other exercises where this can be a nuisance. You also have a door anchor, a mesh carrying bag, and printed literature for the setup and for a few exercises to help get you started. The RT-17 is a prusik trainer, which means it doesn't use any cam buckles or any such devices. It's simply rope that slides along with a prusik knot, which makes it extremely easy to set up, very easy to adjust, and easy to use at the same time. My initial criticism of this design is that it is a single anchor point system. If you've watched my videos and you've seen my other DIY videos on these things, I've always referred to single anchor point designs, kind of like going out and just buying singles of dumbbells instead of dumbbells in pairs. Like, there's no advantage. You're only setting yourself up to have disadvantages. End of discussion. However, after using this sucker for a few weeks, I'm starting to change my tune a little bit on that. The primary reason is because there are advantages to a single anchor point design, particularly when you're working out outdoors. When you have a single design like this with just the single rope, what you can do is easily set it up on objects that are very much out of reach, like out of reach tree branches and stuff. And you can do this, of course, with things like gymnastics ring straps and stuff where you throw the buckle over. But I've, in my experience, found that to be very cumbersome when you have two straps. And you got to get them the right width. And you got to get them from sliding. And unless you're doing it on a perfectly level bar, it's almost impossible with things like tree limbs and stuff. But with this, it's just as simple as throw it over, adjust the height to the handles that you like, and you're ready to rock and roll. Then when you're done, you just pull on one end and it comes down nice and easy. I've also found that for the most part, I don't really need a dual anchor point or a wider anchor point design or setup for most exercises. Almost everything works perfectly well with a very narrow anchor point setup, but dips are one of the main exceptions, of course. But I even found a way around that, because if you're anchoring it to a piece of equipment or you're at a playground or something, and you can just simply sling the ropes over a couple of wider bars, like if you're on like parallel bars or something, then you can effectively have the same effect of having a wider setup, so things like dips are more than possible. The other points that I wanted to bring up is, first off, we have this foam on these handles. Now, originally, I've always liked having a very solid, hard plastic for my handles. It just feels like it's more durable. So this originally, it felt a little weird in my hands, but I've gotten used to it and I've found it to be more than sufficient for grip and quite comfortable. I don't know how well it's going to hold up over time, though. I do know of other devices that have used a similar material in the past in commercial settings, and this stuff just always gets torn to shreds, especially when you consider that people are wearing shoes with big grippy soles and stuff, and it's just tearing this stuff up. For home and personal use, it may be a non-issue. And if you're doing it barefoot, it won't affect it at all. But it is something just to consider if you're going to be working out in shoes a lot, and if you do a lot of foot-based suspension work. What I do like about these is the material is extremely flexible, and it's very lightweight, which is a big win for me, because usually I find that when you have something especially this wide, the extra width is very comfortable, but it's usually made out of material that's very stiff. It's got some rough edges, doesn't feel the most comfortable against bare skin, and it's also heavier, it's bulkier, not quite as portable, and it's also something that is just kind of in the way when you're doing things like, you know, curls and you're bringing it up to your face. So this nice lightweight material, I think, is absolutely perfect, and it solves all of those little nitpicky issues. The foot slings are, of course, non-adjustable, which is not to be unexpected, especially for a trainer at this price point. I've personally find that these are the perfect length for doing any sort of foot suspended exercises where you're facing towards the floor, like planks, mountain climbers, and so forth. I find them to be this to be the perfect design and length for that, especially if you're wearing shoes. If you're barefoot, you're not going to be able to push your heel against this handle, so there is that. And when you're going with more of the face up, like hamstring curls and stuff, I would like this to be a little bit longer, but it's either going to be too long in one case or too short in the other when you have a fixed anchor or a fixed foot sling. So it's going to be one or the other, but it gets the job done. It works perfectly well. And again, for someone like me who doesn't do a whole lot of lower body suspension work, it's really not much of an issue at all. My full opinion is this thing is just freaking awesome, especially when you consider that you get it for less than like 25 bucks, which is insane because I went onto Strapworks. You know me, I'm always like, DIY it, you'll save money and stuff. Just this 17-foot length of rope on Strapworks alone is $25. So if you tried to piecemeal it through like Strapworks and stuff, you just buy one piece and you're already over budget. So unless you have the parts already lying around or something, I think it definitely behooves you to check it out on the website. There's a link down below in the description. Full disclosure, if you buy through that link, you will be helping to support RDP, which I sincerely appreciate. Also, thank you very much for NOSSK for supplying me with this trainer to review and use and have fun with. Love to hear what you think down below in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. Be fit, live free.